I feel that change management is essential for organizations because it boosts employee morale and engagement. For instance, one time we had a client that reached out to us.
Clear communication is the glue that holds organizations together. Welcome to Sustain Train Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Xavier.
And I'm Alfred.
Today we're diving into a pivotal component, change management. In our rapidly evolving business landscape, embracing digital transformation is essential for staying competitive. Change management ensures that transitions are smooth, employees are engaged, and organizational goals are met. In this episode, we'll discuss why change management is indispensable for digital transformation projects. We'll explore strategies to overcome common barriers, such as resistance from employees and integration challenges with legacy systems. Additionally, we'll highlight the benefits of a well-executed change management plan, including improved employee morale and the achievement of lasting organizational benefits. Join us as we uncover how to navigate the complexities of change and lead your organization toward a successful digital future. So let's get into it. There are lots of conversations in the industry surrounding change management. Is it necessary? Does it work? Is it worth it? So I want to address the elephant in the room and bring up the question that we get asked so frequently. Why do you feel change management is essential for organizations?
Well, I feel that change management is essential for organizations because it boosts employee morale and engagement. For instance, one time we had a client that reached out to us. They were already live with SAP. They had rolled it out, and then they hit some bumps in the road. They were dealing with high turnover. Engagement wasn't there. Now they have employees in the warehouse that do not know SAP. And so it directly impacting their customer satisfaction. This was not okay. They called us. We put together a change management and training solution for them that improved their operational efficiency and ultimately reduced their turnover. Created some stability in their organization, and now they are ready and they are more engaged, and now they know SAP. Think on the flip side, if companies like them would have invested their resources, invested in, a proper change management rollout, we would have avoided some of these pitfalls. So you definitely want to think about change management and how impactful it can be for your organization before you go down that road. It can definitely help you out and avoid some of these hurdles that will come about if you did not do so.
Totally agree. Clear communication is the glue that holds organizations together. When you're going through a change as a leader, it's easy to say, hey, we're going to bring in some SAP trainers for S/4HANA to get you guys up to speed and sink or swim. It's not going to work. But when leaders prioritize, open dialogue and show interest in the well-being of their team, it grows trust and a sense of purpose. I like to use the example of, let's take a football coach, a high school football coach or something like that. When he takes over a team and he says, hey, we're going to switch from a pro set offense to a I formation offense as our base. You don't just switch that in August when school starts. That starts in the summer, in 2-a-days. You start building that morale with your players, building that trust. Going through the motions, so to speak, giving them the tools necessary to transition from a pro set to a high formation. So this is how you really combat that resistance and empower your team simultaneously. So from an organizational standpoint, now everyone feels valued and confident navigating together. And that's the foundation for not just surviving the change, but thriving through the change. So overall, change management is going to limit resistance as a whole. Employees, me included, we're creatures of habit. A lot of us are scared of the unknown. We may have been doing these things over and over at a high level for a long period of time. So that fear is going to present itself when it comes time to change your complete way of working. But what change management does is provide the structure necessary to kind of spread that awareness of what's to come. You address those fears and ultimately you increase the buy-in.
Man, I really love that approach you took, man, and the example from a football standpoint. There was a practical idea and way you can bring that to light. Man, I really, take to the structure topic that you was talking about. Structure and communication can avoid a lot of these different obstacles that clients kind of take on by not approaching change management as it should be. So definitely take heed. Make sure you have a change management partner and training partner that will take you to that finish line and be successful in your change journey. Digital transformation isn't just a process, it's a journey. And every journey needs a roadmap. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Pathways by ADKAR Consulting, your strategic guide to achieving sustainment with SAP S/4HANA. At ADKAR Consulting, we know that transformation begins with people. That's why Pathways starts with change management. We identify training requirements, engage key stakeholders, and eliminate roadblocks to prepare your organization for success. Next, we design a tailored training program development plan. From custom curriculums to hands-on exercises, we ensure your team has everything they need to excel. Our training facilitation uses the Hear, See, Do methodology to keep your workforce engaged and ready to embrace change. Once your system is live, hypercare support takes over. Our experts are on site, guiding your team through troubleshooting and building confidence in daily tasks. And finally, sustainment. We help you develop an action plan to ensure knowledge retention, efficient onboarding, and long-term success with SAP. Pathways is more than a product. It's a proven approach to ensure your digital transformation delivers results. Don't just adapt, thrive. So, ready to chart your path to sustainment? Contact ADKAR Consulting today. Hey, so Xavier, successful change management is guided by some key principles and frameworks. So what are some principles or frameworks that you consider are effective in change management?
Gotcha. The ADKAR model is an excellent choice when it comes to frameworks. It, kind of focuses on guiding employees step by step. So they understand the need for the change and it allows them to move forward with fully adopting it. It also helps to ensure that the human aspect, your people in your organization aren't overlooked. So let's kind of break down what the ADKAR model looks like. First you have awareness. That's the why behind the change. Then you have desire, it's where you drive, motivation of the change, wanting that change to take place. Then you have knowledge. That's equipping your employees with the tools necessary, to gain that knowledge and gain the practical knowledge and be able to apply that knowledge. Ability means putting that theory in practice. So you've gotten the knowledge. Now knowledge of S4. Now let's put that knowledge in practice, utilizing the system so we can gain that ability. And reinforcement, which is the last step of that principle, just makes it stick. It prevents employees from reverting back to their old ways.
Hey, man, I love that. I actually use ADKAR on several projects. It's a practical approach to change management. As you mentioned, you have the awareness, the desire, the knowledge, the ability, and one of my favorites is that sustainability and reinforcement. As you said, to make it actually stick and have longevity with this new change that's coming, whether it's S/4HANA or a new process in your organization, you want to be successful in the long run. That's where reinforcement come in play. Reinforce the training that was learned. Have teach backs. Have additional training sessions. Have an onboarding process for new hires. And one of my favorites is building a super user network for companies. Creating a super user network improves efficiency in the warehouse or, in the office, because now you're minimizing, ticket submissions to IT support. Now you can solve those issues right there amongst your team. And then you can share those solutions with your team members so they can be more empowered and equipped. So now they don't have to reach out to you. They can solve those issues on their own in a lot of cases going forward. So yes, a super user network is very essential to move forward and have longevity and success with SAP?
Yeah, man, there's nothing like a super user network at the end of the day. And one of the other things that I, like to incorporate is combining visual tools like posters, countdown calendars, or even a digital ribbon on a digital display. So think of a countdown calendar as your employees are walking through the foyer of your building, and there's this huge easel that has, 30 days into SAP implementation. Each day it dwindles down. You're just bringing more visibility to that, which is overall going to provide more desire from your employees. Hey, we know it's coming. We're getting more and more excited. In addition, the posters, if you have physical posters, you can put them around the office, whether that's a break room, bathrooms, the foyer, any place like that. And if you're already digitally advanced, that can be TV screens in the break room, things like that. You have digital banners going across, hey, SAP is coming on this date, or whatever the case may be, right? I like to go a step further. And these posters, let's just say, for instance, you have a poster. Use some humor, use some motivation, to just kind of get that buy-in for that desire and bring that awareness. So I like to use this example. I'll take a poster, and I haven't done this yet. I might actually use this. Put a poster in the bathroom, right? And it says, don't get caught with your pants down. SAP is coming. Small things like this, although they may seem small or funny, they go a long way in achieving the awareness and the desire you need or you're seeking as an organization. Digital transformation isn't just a buzzword. It's your opportunity to lead the future, and the future is now. By 2027, SAP ECC support will end, making the shift to SAP S/4HANA more than a choice. It's a necessity. But transitioning to S/4HANA isn't just about new technology. It's about empowering your workforce to use it to its full potential. That's where ADKAR Consulting steps in. At ADKAR, we specialize in end-to-end S/4HANA training tailored specifically for your company. Our training goes beyond the basics, equipping your team with the knowledge and confidence to drive real results. From hands-on user training to strategic change management, we ensure your organization transitions seamlessly, aligning technology with your business goals. Because when your team thrives, so does your business. Don't wait until the deadline to lead your organization into the future. Partner with ADKAR Consulting today and make your S/4HANA transformation a success. Your future is calling. Let's answer it together. So we know all organizations are different. But what I want to talk about now is, how do organizations typically approach change, and what are some of the most common pitfalls you've seen?
Really, a lot of organizations typically overlook change management, whether it's due to poor budget planning or thinking hey, we'll get it done culture will suffice. That really hurts them in the long run. And I can think of a situation earlier on in my career, there was a rollout, where an organization overlooked change management, but also had some messy stuff going on in the leadership. The warehouse manager was making promises for promotions to some employees, playing favoritism. It's just a lot of drama and just mess, right? So that just created like a trickle-down effect to the employees, to where there was a lot of resentment in the workplace. This is a recipe for disaster when it comes to implementations. When you're having a transformation, you want to have some stability. You want to have an open door policy in between leadership and employees. So, there's some trust in the workplace. And then that you're ready to move forward.
Most definitely. That's a wild story, because when you think about it, the problem there is leadership didn't focus correctly. When it comes to leaders, you have to focus on the well-being of your employees first. The success of any change initiative starts and ends with them. It's completely dependent on them. When they feel valued, when they feel supported, when they feel heard, they're more likely to stick with the organization through all these challenging transitions. One thing they overlook and forget is that any large-scale transformation is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you have to approach it as such. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, if you just put the right resources together and invest in a change management solution for your people, don't cut them short. It will avoid some of the pitfalls such as poor communication, pushback that you don't know how to mitigate. It's a lot of hurdles that have come along the way that you're just not prepared for. So that's why we have our training site readiness awareness assessment. That way you can kind of gauge and identify some of the pitfalls before you get to it. You can tell if your organization has stability with the leadership and employees. Is there trust in the workplace? Are people ready for the change to come? Or do they even know about it? It's a lot of questions that need to be answered to ensure that that site is ready for the change to come.
Most definitely. When you think about it, when you are coming at these employees and they're being bombarded with poorly managed changes, they lose their ability to adapt. That's what we like to call change fatigue. It's going to lead to exhaustion, frustration. Overall, they're just going to be disengaged completely. That not only affects your productivity, but it erodes their trust in you as a leader. That's why you'll see when some of these companies are going through a transformation, you'll see employees begin leaving the organization before, during, and immediately after an organizational change of this magnitude. I've seen it firsthand. Training starts and someone's put in their 2-week notice. Or you have someone that's in training throughout the whole 8-week to 12-week transformation, but they're just not really engaged as everyone else. Well, when it's time to go live, guess what? That person is putting in their 2 weeks notice, or they're just leaving altogether. So I want to help companies avoid these pitfalls and focus in on your approach to change management, not with the technical aspect of it, but more of the people approach when it comes to change, because that's where it starts.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Sustain Train. Today, we explored the critical role change management plays in ensuring the success of digital transformation projects. To recap, we discussed why change management is essential. We talked about the common challenges organizations face, and we also discussed the key strategies for success. Change management isn't just a process, it's a mindset. When done right, it empowers your organization to adapt, thrive, and achieve long-term success in today's fast-paced digital world. Thanks again for tuning in to today's episode. Until next time, stay inspired, stay empowered, and stay on track with Sustain Train. Today, we're closing out our change management series. We'll be unpacking 3 big questions about change management.
But when it comes to leadership, it starts with leadership. They set the tone for any change initiative.